Yo, what's up, JJ? All right, bro. So I want to hit a quick stream real quick. This is my day to like chill. I was sleeping. I ain't gonna lie. I woke up like early. Like my sleep schedule has always been messed up, but it's been messed up a lot lately. So I went to sleep. I could wake up throughout the night, and then like I got to bed like 8 in the morning. Decided to give me some food so I could go to sleep again. Went to sleep at like 11, and I was in and out of sleep until like 5 o'clock. I feel like it's just like, yeah, I gotta catch up on my rest, bro. It was a lot of rest from like a lot of shifts I worked. And my last day off was last Sunday. But anyways, I was just like, I'm chilling here, just watching YouTube videos, just going through stuff like, say Amazon wish list, different stuff like that. I'm getting my equipment prepared for a test right quick. So I want to get my equipment, my new sound equipment. I'm charging it right now for the first time, and I'm gonna get ready to test it on a bunch of different games and stuff like that. And probably make a couple of videos with that sound equipment, so I can know if it's working before we get to Resident Evil 9 recording, coming on later on. So I was just like, I have enough phone battery right now. Let's do a quick stream, not nothing crazy. And I was like, this is when saying not only JJ been one Mr. Nightmare, but my boy, Guess, he been one Mr. Nightmare as well. Okay, and I want to get on some more Mr. Nightmare. So this is one of the recommendations that my boy JJ had hit up. I think it's one of the last ones we haven't seen yet. 3 creepy true beach horror stories. Get on this right quick, bro. In the stream, I'm probably gonna jump into filming some stuff, bro. Check out this equipment and kind of chill for the rest of today. We have, I'm about to say Stranger Things, not Stranger Things. Life is Strange. We will be trying to knock out by tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Monday. Just continuously play those episodes out. And that's the plan. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to get the rest of catch up on my sleep so I can be wide awake tomorrow for these long episodes. But yeah, I just want to inform y'all what's going on with your boy. And let's get into this thing, bro. 3 creepy true beach horror stories. Hope y'all been doing good today. Story 1 by John G.
This happened a few months ago, back in the spring. It was that strange in-between period of my life. Just graduated, no real responsibilities yet, and way too much free time.
Ooh, I remember those days. Y'all remember those days, bro? You know what I'm saying? You don't really need a job. You still live with your parents. You can just chill, binge, watch TV shows. There's just no real, your parents not making you pay no bills. So you just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Life is just like still in the kid phase, you know what I'm saying? No, you don't have no money. Man, bro, those days, bro. Jesus, those days are so nice. You can play video games late into the hours, sleep all day if you want to. No, nothing really like, we have to go around and do nothing. Playing video games late, binge watching. That's how I binge watch so many TV shows, bro. Just binging shows as 9 seasons, bro. I'm talking about like a whole 10 season TV show binge watching in 1 week. I don't know how y'all binge watch, but I be binging. It's like sleep for 30 minutes and then it's back on the show, bro. Back on the show. Don't gotta pay the bills yet, but I gotta go to school again. Heard that. Well, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. School for me, bro, I kind of like, once I graduated high school, I never wanted to go back. I was just that person. So I was rather like, I really into the real world, saying, get paid, saying, have my bills and take care of this and that. But just like going back to school, oh my gosh, bro. School and not getting paid, bro. At least when you're getting paid and you have a job, you can at least take your money and do stuff that you want to do. Like school is just a never ending learning process of getting this just so you can get this piece of paper degree. Not disrespecting school, but you do all this just to get a piece of paper degree. And then you try to go in your job field sometimes. It's like, well, this job's not available for you right now because of this reason, that reason. It's like, what's the point of me going and doing all this stuff, bro? And then, eventually people get a dream job and it's just great money, it's a happy life. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, to those days, though.
School a semester early, which seemed like a great idea when I was drowning in assignments. But once I actually had all this free time, I had no clue what to do with it. My full-time job wasn't starting until June, and most of my friends were still busy with classes or finals. So until then, I was just floating, feeling like I was stuck in the gap between two phases of my life. It was actually really discomforting and made me feel worthless. I'm someone who always needs to be doing something productive. So just sitting around for days on end, watching time pass, was killing me.
Create a project.
That's probably why I said yes when my mom asked me to check on my Uncle Rick's beach house. It was an easy favor. Drive down to Rehoboth Beach, make sure nothing was leaking or damaged, and do some small maintenance to save Rick the cost of hiring someone.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention that I'm from Pennsylvania, and Rick's house is in Delaware, so the drive's not so bad. Just a little over 2 hours.
Okay.
The house is massive, the kind that comfortably holds my entire extended family every summer. 25 of us packed into one place, playing games and drinking too much. Those two activities are honestly the only distinctive things about our family. This house isn't exactly on the shoreline, but it's not too far from the beach either.
Okay.
It's nestled in a quieter neighborhood, lined with tall beach grass and winding roads. Fast forward to some random day of the week that I honestly can't even remember. I think it was like a Thursday or something. I left in the late afternoon,
25?
which, in hindsight, was probably a dumb idea. The drive was pretty chill. When I got to the house, everything seemed normal. I made my way inside and ran through Rick's checklist. I checked the faucets, the breakers, and walked the property. Everything looked fine. To be completely frank, it felt strange being there alone.
I bet.
I'd never seen that house without miscellaneous board games sprawled about. And
Right, bro, you used to be in there and 25 other family members are there. It would be kind of eerie to be in a big mansion by yourself. That's another thing. Like, I never understood that, y'all. Like, when people become rich and, like, famous, they get these big old mansions that has, like, 25 rooms and you're one person. Okay, yeah, if you plan on inviting family and having a lot of guests over, fine. But, like, I'm gonna feel creeped out being the only person in this big old mansion. I don't know what to do with all these rooms. I have an exercise room that I never touch. I have this movie room that I don't go into because I'm used to chilling on my phone watching movies. I just need a nice house with no mansion. That's what I'm saying. I just get a nice house, bro. Maybe it might have one extra room, a guest room. Maybe it's a YouTube room. It's a work study, we call it. Maybe I have one extra room, bro, for a guest room for people to come by. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe another room is my work room, which is probably YouTube studio or whatever the case, whatever I'm doing at that moment where I'm rich, you know what I'm saying? Just a workplace open room. I can convert and move stuff. It didn't like a bathroom. Like, it don't need to be that deep, bro. But, like, I never want to be, like, in a big old house by myself. You hearing noises downstairs. And I'm like, I'm the only one supposed to be here. And there's 20 rooms I've declared to find out who done broke into my house. Like, nah, bro. I don't like that.
Family members noisily drinking. The silence was definitely the most eerie thing about it. The place felt abandoned or something. I'm sure all of you have that one place, be it a house or a restaurant or something else, that gets really rowdy when your whole family spends time there together. Now try to picture that place empty and silent. Kind of spooky, right? Anyway, it was getting late, and I hate driving at night more than anything. So I texted my mom.
I hear that, and I'm saying, nope. Nah, nope. Let me be in the house. Yo, whoever watched this back on YouTube, I want y'all to reply to that comment JJ just said, bro. Pause the video, and I want you to say you're in your house, and then this is like 24th mansion. You hear someone say hello downstairs, and you're the only one supposed to be there, and you don't hear your family was supposed to come. They don't have a key to your house. You don't have bro. No.
Let her know I'd just stay overnight and head back in the morning. She told me that was a good idea, and reminded me to thank Uncle Rick for letting me stay there, which I did. I made myself some food, messed around on my phone for a bit, and then started washing up for the night. Usually during family gatherings, I'd get jammed into one of the smaller rooms on the 3rd floor while other relatives got to claim the nicer, bigger rooms.
Of course.
I'm not complaining about the system at all. I'm just telling you how things tended to go. Since I had the house to myself that night, though, I figured I'd take advantage of it. The master bedroom on the 2nd floor has a private bathroom, a massive walk-in closet, and a ridiculously comfortable bed.
Oh, yeah.
The decision wasn't exactly difficult. I knew that's where I'd be sleeping. I climbed in around midnight and quickly drifted off. I don't remember what time it was when I woke up, only that something startled me awake. I was still a little groggy, but I was dead sure sound had just come from the closet, like something had fallen in there. Without making any noise, I craned my head to look at the closet. Even that small action sent my heartbeat racing. My mind was awake, but my body refused to move, like some kind of sleep paralysis without the paralysis.
Okay.
I could move, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to find out if there was something in that closet. I squeezed my eyes shut and told myself to go back to sleep.
No.
And I almost did. But the literal second I started drifting back into sleep, I heard it. A muffled thump from inside the closet. I squinted my eyes just a smidge and tried convincing myself I'd imagined it.
Get out
but
the
I knew
room.
I hadn't. As if overcome by some invisible force, I lay there in complete paralysis with no control over my
This
body
nigga wanna
whatsoever.
die.
Not like before. This time it was real. I couldn't move even if I wanted to. Until that moment, I didn't truly understand what it meant to be frozen in place. I listened in horror as the closet door slowly creaked open.
Nigga.
Through barely open eyes, I watched as a dark figure stepped into the room. It just stood there beside the bed, motionlessly, watching me. Maybe 20 seconds passed, each second feeling impossibly long. Then, silently, it turned and left the room. I stayed completely still, barely breathing. The footsteps moved across the floor, but instead of heading downstairs like I'd expected them to, they actually creaked upstairs to the 3rd floor. My stomach churned. The only staircase led up. There was no exit from there.
Call the police.
My mind was screaming at me
Call
to
the
do
police.
something, but I was too afraid.
Have your phone.
I
Call the
couldn't
police.
overpower a grown man. I had no idea if he was armed. The only thing I could do was wait. After a few painful moments in my own head, I worked up the courage to snap myself out of the paralysis.
Get up.
Quietly, I reached for my phone and dialed 911. As soon as the dispatcher picked up, I whispered as quietly as I could, telling them someone was in the house. I slipped out of bed and just as quietly turned the lock on the bedroom door. And I waited.
Yo, JJ, you killing me, bro. You killing me, bro. This JJ said, bro, he's just been like, hey, you know what? Take me, bro. I'm good. Yo, you don't even know who it is, JJ. That could be the uncle checking on the house, just being a weirdo. You're not even, JJ's not even worried if the dude's bigger than him or not, that he can try to fight back. It's just immediate, like, I understand if you seen it was a paranormal thing. Yeah, then maybe I'm like, okay, bro, I'm dead. I can't beat that. This dude immediately just, it's heard as a dark shadow. The man, he not even trying to call the cops, lock the door. It's just like, you know what, let me just rise out of bed. Hey, bro, you know what? I heard you in the closet. I was sleeping here. You can have the whole house. Just let me.
Minutes dragged painfully by until flashing red and blue lights illuminated the windows. I was actually kind of shocked at how quickly the police arrived. I ran down the stairs, threw open the front door, and nearly collapsed in relief when I saw the police. They didn't hesitate. They stormed inside, moving quickly through the house. I waited outside. It didn't take them long. According to them, the house was empty. I was in disbelief. I had heard the footsteps go up. There was nowhere to go after that, so he must have still been in the house. There was no other explanation. The police insisted he must have slipped past me, that I was too freaked out to notice.
Nope.
I knew that wasn't true.
That
What could I say?
Paranormal.
The guy had vanished. I wasn't comfortable letting the police just leave
I'm
them,
driving home.
so I called Rick. Rick wasn't having it. He snapped at the police and told them to check again, and that my life might have depended on it. So they did. They searched again, more thoroughly this time. Rick told me to follow them and watch what they were doing, and so I did. The officers moved methodically, opening every closet and checking under beds, tapping at the walls like they were expecting something hidden behind them. They pulled back the shower curtain in every bathroom, double-checked the locks on the doors and the windows, and that's when they found it. One of the bedroom windows on the 3rd floor, the room I should have been sleeping in, was unlocked. One of them stood by the door, while the other one went downstairs and stepped onto the back deck. I opted to go outside with the second officer, mostly because the thought of being locked in the house with some stranger sickened me. The officer shined his light around the property, but there was nothing out there. He started scanning the roof, and To my horror, his beam swept across something terrifying. It was him. It was that stranger that had been in the house.
Nice.
He was just sitting there on the roof. He was this disgusting-looking bald man in tattered clothing who looked like he hadn't seen a shower in years.
Damn.
The next hour was a blur. The cops communicated with each other, and they got the guy off the roof in cuffs.
Are you... Yo, fire the police department. Are we serious? If the uncle never was like, go back and check everything, they insisted, did they just like walk through and just like open doors and close them? Like, just I want you to imagine this, bro. I want you... That's crazy. I'm gonna be pissed now. Like, I'm now thinking, like, is my police department gonna do that? I'm like, somebody's in here. Just imagine a nigga opening the door, right? And they look around the room and they close the door. The nigga probably was standing behind the door you just opened. You not looked? Yes, you would have probably killed him. You would have killed him in his sleep, bro. He said, check again. That's crazy. The uncle had to say, check again. And they had to really... Why they didn't do all that before? It's a mansion, bro. It's fitting 25 people. It's fitting 25 people. You telling me you have no idea this man couldn't jump himself on the roof or get into a different room or be behind something and you ain't checked thoroughly? It took out like, why y'all didn't go to the back deck in the first place? Nah, it's just clear, bro. There's nobody in the house. You just seeing things. Like, get this up out of here.
He said he was probably homeless and squatting in the house for days, maybe longer.
Probably.
But when they asked him how he got in, how long he'd been there, and why he was hiding in the closet, he didn't answer. He just kept that eerie, vacant look, like none of it mattered to him. He was in the back of one of their police cars shortly after that, and that was that. The whole thing was so crazy that it's still hard to wrap my head around. As much as I try, I cannot figure out why that guy had been hiding in that closet of all places.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he heard me enter the house
and
hid in the first place he thought of. I still don't know how he got into the house. Rick doesn't either. It's impossible to get to the roof from the grounds, so I feel like that explanation is pretty illogical. The rest of my extended family has been insisting that Rick ups his home security.
You think?
He's refused every time for reasons I can't explain. The thought that had I been sleeping in my assigned bedroom, that night might have ended very differently.
I don't know.
There was a time I was alone, nowhere to go.
My buddy Mike has a beach house on the Jersey Shore. Calling it a beautiful property would be an understatement. It's magnificent, or at least as someone who never came from much, that's what it feels like to me. I obviously don't know the history too well. It's not my family's house after all. But from what I do know, that house has been in their family for generations. Mike's grandparents had been trying to use it as their permanent place of residence for the longest time. But unfortunately, they recently passed away. Without anyone living there anymore, the house is dormant most of the time since most of Mike's extended family lives on the West Coast, and his parents are too busy to make good use out of it. The upside to an otherwise sad situation, though, is that Mike is essentially allowed free access to it whenever he wants. I'm pretty sure it was Mike's dad's intention to rent the house out to try and make some extra cash.
He should have.
As far as I know, the gears aren't exactly turning on that one. It's not exactly an easy task to find someone willing to rent out a beach house during the off-season, so you can't really blame the guy. It was sometime in mid-July when Mike hit me up and asked me if I wanted to come down for the weekend.
Ooh, we
He didn't
got
have to
friends
twist
at
my
beach
arm.
house.
I had nothing going on. The thought of kicking back at a beach house, especially one that was nice, was an easy yes. His plan was simple. We'd hang out, maybe hit the beach during the day, then head to the boardwalk at night and just enjoy the shore for what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't some crazy party weekend or anything like that.
Just vacation
Just a chill
chill.
escape from the usual. And honestly, I was looking forward to it. Mike and I lived pretty close together, so he was going to pick me up and drive me down with him. That Friday, I packed a duffel, threw it in his trunk, and the two of us made the drive down. The first night was chill. We got in sometime around 6, dropped our stuff off in the upstairs bedrooms, and settled in. The house has that cozy, slightly musty beach house smell, like a mix of salt air and old wood. Not in a bad way, more like history. You could tell it's seen decades of family summers. After grabbing a quick bite from a sub shop nearby, we decided to walk the beach for a bit, just to take in the evening. Mike brought a couple rods with him, so we figured we'd try our luck fishing for a while. It wasn't really about catching anything, though. It It was more about being out there. At one point, we stumbled across a pair of girls about our age. They were walking barefoot along the shoreline, and Mike, being Mike, struck up conversation right away. They were local, or at least semi-local, and it turned into one of those low-stakes, slightly flirtatious interactions that happen naturally when you're young and on the beach at night.
Okay.
We got their numbers, and they continued their walk while we continued fishing. There were still a good number of people around since it was peak season, but Mike knew all the quiet pockets. Private beach access, tucked away paths through dunes, little spots between houses where the lights didn't reach. We ended up finding a nice stretch to ourselves where the only sound was the water and the wind. It was the kind of night that made you forget about real life for a bit.
Well,
The next morning, we woke up around 9 and decided
Yo,
to go for
that's
a run
not you,
along the
JJ?
boardwalk.
That's not you, JJ. You just now pick up some random chick, bro, walking down the street. She look good. You're not gonna be like, "Yo, what they do, girl?" You don't hear with that. I'm JJ. I'm just seeing what y'all ladies doing today. You don't hear with that. That's not you. JJ like, hell no. Random old girls might be serial killers in disguise.
It was already warm out by then, but there was a breeze coming off the ocean that made it bearable. We weren't doing anything crazy, just a couple miles to get the blood flowing. Mike's a pretty active guy, and I've been trying to stay in shape, so it felt good to move after a night of lounging around. The rest of the day kind of slipped by without us noticing. Later that evening, Mike floated the idea of hitting a few bars in Seaside, but we were both wiped. Even though the idea sounded fun
Don't
in
want
theory,
Orange took
the thought
her
of
did.
waiting in line and yelling over music didn't really line up with how our bodies felt after a full day in the sun. We ended up crashing kind of early instead. Sometime after midnight, I woke up to a shrill, piercing beeping. At first, I thought it was part of a dream, but after a second or two of lying there in the dark, I realized it was real. It sounded like a smoke detector, one of those sharp, high-pitched alarms that cut straight through your skull. I threw myself out of bed and started scanning my surroundings in an effort to pinpoint where the beeping was coming from. It didn't sound like it was coming from my bedroom or anywhere else on the second floor. After focusing for a few more seconds, I got the impression that it was actually coming from above me. Without thinking, I yanked the bedroom door open and made a beeline for Mike's room. With both hands, I jolted him awake and told him to follow me. He immediately caught on to the situation and hurried after me, not even bothering to put a shirt on. As if our lives depended on it, the two of us bolted up the stairs, completely unsure of what we'd be running into. The third floor was mostly dark, except for a little bit of moonlight leaking in through the window at the end of the hallway.
Oh no.
We flipped the lights on and started scanning the space, still expecting to see or smell something burning. But there was nothing. No smoke, no flickering lights, no signs of a fire at all, actually. It was baffling. Eventually, after some painfully irritating minutes of searching for the source of that god-awful noise, I found something. In one of the bedrooms, tucked neatly under a pillow, was a small black device. Before calling Mike into the room, I decided to examine it myself a little,
What's that?
mostly out of pure confusion.
What's
It
that,
was the size
tracking?
of a walkie-talkie, all black with the exception of a blinking red light on top. That was it.
What is that?
No buttons, no stickers, no screen, just a smooth jet black casing, that blinking light, and a single switch on the side. Or at least what looked like a switch. I flipped it off, and the beeping stopped immediately. Mike entered the room at the same time. His eyes flicked from the bed to me to the device in my hand. Neither of us said anything at first.
What is that?
We locked eyes, and I could tell he was just as confused,
It's
and just as
definitely-
scared as I was.
Your talents never
So
cease to amaze me.
somebody
On
somehow
Hallmark
got a
Plus,
tracking
there's
device
always a plus.
in that top room.
And I could tell he was just as
What?
confused and just as scared as I was. After a few more seconds of silence,
Throw it out the
he asked
window.
me if I had ever seen that black thing before. I said no and asked him the same, to which he also said no.
Throw it out the window.
For the next hour, we tried figuring out what that thing was, how it had gotten there, and what had triggered it. But no answer we came up with was satisfying.
Man, take a picture with
Mike
your
swore
phone.
none of his family members had been in that house in ages, and I believed him. I mean, why would he lie about that? Plus, who the hell would put that thing in their own home?
Exactly.
You might think it was for safety or something, or maybe a substitute for a faulty upstairs smoke detector. But again, there was no fire, so it hadn't even prevented any emergencies.
Right.
And then the matter of how it had gotten triggered in the first place.
In that Pacific
That was
room.
the scariest part about the whole
That's
thing.
weird.
We were sitting in Mike's room in the dark when I had a crazy thought. I couldn't believe it hadn't occurred to me until then. The switch. I pulled out the device and very quickly flipped the switch on and off. And you guessed it. The shrill beeping started up again and stopped as soon as I flipped it off.
I just caught on. Oh my gosh. I was like, what does it matter? What does the switch matter? Y'all, did y'all just catch on too? Or y'all already knew? The only way that thing can get switched on and make that sound if somebody switched it on. Which means somebody is in that house with y'all and somebody has to be in the same room. Because the thing don't just activate and switch on its own. So that means someone switched it on in the middle of the night in that room, threw it in the covers so y'all to pick it up. Y'all didn't investigate the room? Y'all just picked up the device, looked at each other, and left the room and turned it off. Somebody's in the house. Question is, why alert them and wake them up? If y'all was there to steal, or like, I mean, something must be weird. Like, why wake them up, alert them? Why just not just go and steal? Like, what? Unless that tracking device was to alert some more people to the location to help you steal. I don't get it.
Both of us froze, and Mike whispered, "Oh my God." The thought hit us both at the same time. The only way to operate the device was by hand. Someone else was in the house.
You think?
We didn't waste any time. Mike dialed the police while I locked the door, barricading it as best I could.
That's what I just thought of, y'all. It just hit
Waited
me.
for what felt like forever.
It just hit
And
me.
finally, the police showed up. We quickly made our way downstairs to intercept them. After giving them a very brief description of
Tell
what
me
was
go
going on,
upstairs.
they did a full sweep of the house while we waited outside
Are
by the
they good
front door
cops or
per their
bad
instruction. When they finally came back downstairs, what they told us was horrifying. Apparently, every single window on the third floor was wide open, even the bathroom windows.
Nigga,
And it
what?
wasn't just that. The beds were flipped, drawers were pulled out of dressers, and everything was on the floor.
Y'all didn't hear
The
that?
room where I'd found the device looked completely ransacked, even though it was nice and neat when we searched up there. I felt like I was losing my mind.
Yeah, I didn't
so
hear no
did
one do
Mike.
that.
But after being escorted upstairs by the officers, we had no choice but to accept the reality. The officers didn't find much else. No one hiding, no prints,
How do you
no
turn all
weapons.
this stuff over in silence?
After another 20 minutes or so, they told us to make sure all the windows were locked and secured from now on, and to call again if anything else happened. Then they just left.
I'm not understanding.
Mike and I
that.
didn't feel safe being in that house.
Why
after
would you?
Someone probably
If somebody had a tracking device or an evidence device and that they already know where you were at, they were looking for that device or they were looking for something specifically. And if they are to turn the whole upstairs and y'all niggas didn't hear nothing, either y'all niggas are deaf or y'all niggas they're just a master. Like, I don't know. I would not spend the night in that house after it's got broken into. I just can't. I'm sorry. I just can't, bro. That's just common sense.
crazy or on drugs had messed with us like that, in such an unexplainable way too. But we had no choice. We told ourselves we'd sleep there the rest of the night
I
and leave
wouldn't.
early in the morning. And that's what we did. Luckily, whoever had been in the house must have left, because nothing else happened throughout the night. There are still parts of this night I can't explain, and I can only imagine what Mike must be feeling. For all we know, whoever had been in that house that night might have never left.
They might come back. It might be them girls y'all got them numbers from. That's what JJ like. JJ like, man, there's some girls who gave you the numbers. He followed y'all home.
This happened a decent while ago, back when I was 22. Enough years have passed to the point where I feel safe talking about it. I was fresh out of college with a desirable job and minimal expenses since I was living in my childhood home with my parents. Imagine that, racking up considerable savings without having to worry about food or a place to sleep, and all the while having full access to the room I grew up in, my car, and all my hometown comforts. It's safe to say I was living in pure bliss. Believe me, I knew how lucky I was to have parents who allowed me to stay at home and rent-free. I know a lot of people don't have that option, so it's something I never took for granted. But not everything was as stress-free as you might think. What I'm about to tell you happened not even 1 month into my time back at home. I've never been what people my age like to call a party girl. I don't drink excessive amounts of alcohol. I don't spend every ounce of my free time at clubs, and I definitely don't allow men to dictate my life in any way. That's just how I was raised. My father is the most important man in my life, and hookup culture disgusts me. Because of all that, my life is pretty routine. Wake up, satisfy my caffeine addiction, go to work, go to the gym, read a bit of my book at home, mess around on my phone, and go to sleep. Weekends are for hiking, mini road trips, board games, and whatever else I decide I want to spend my time doing. But one random weekend, my closest friend from college, Lindsay, invited me and our other two friends, Sabrina and Thea, to spend a few days at her family's beach house. I'd never been, but from the way Lindsay talked about it, the place sounded like a dream.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What I'm about to say, I mean in no level of meanness or disrespect. I just say it's in facts. So I'm just gonna say the main character. You sound like either you are a daddy's girl or you are the designated ugly fat friend. You ever seen The Duff? I'm sorry, you seem like you were just unappealing. And this girl, Lindsay, she seems like she brought you and Thea out there just so y'all can like make her look better. You ever seen like, you know what I'm saying, girls in a group and they got the one fine one and the other two like, bro, hey, I'm not wilding. I'm being I'm telling you the truth. I'm not even like roasting her or getting on her because she's like preservative and she's not going in me a dot. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying from her description, the way she talks, I'm letting you know right now. This girl, she's physically unattractive. I'm letting you know right now. No dudes just beating down the door to get to be with her. I'm letting you know. It's the way she talks, bro. Her friend Lindsay knows that she's not that presentable when it comes to looks, and so is the friend Thea. So when they go out to bars and stuff, guess who the good dude's gonna jump on? They're gonna jump on Lindsay, and Lindsay knows this. She's not trying to get her with no dudes because no one's looking her way. She's probably like a bear, bro. I'm not even being mean. I'm just from off the information, bro. If you get a picture of this girl, if she submitted, I can promise you it's unattractive. I'm not even trying to be mean.
Quiet, tucked away from the touristy chaos on its own private beach, and just a short walk from the water. To put it bluntly, Lindsay's family is loaded. I think both her parents were neurosurgeons, so I had a feeling her beach house would be insane,
Damn.
and I was far from disappointed. When I first laid eyes on it, I was awestruck. Look, I'm no architect, but I know a modern style house when I see one. And Lindsay's must have been ultra modern because it looked more like a covert military safe house than a personal home.
Damn.
I'd love to show you guys pictures of it, believe me. I've got plenty, but out of respect for Lindsay's family, I think that would be in really poor taste, even if what I'm about to tell you didn't happen. The four of us unloaded our stuff and decided where we'd be sleeping. Lindsay obviously had enough individual bedrooms for all of us to occupy, but what would be the fun in that? Instead, the four of us stayed in the same room, one of the kids' bedrooms that had 2 sets of bunk beds
Okay,
and its
that's
own
safe.
attached bathroom.
That's safe.
We'd been staying there 3 nights, which, in my opinion, is the perfect amount of time to spend coupled up with anyone other than your family. I tend to be relatively irritable, so anyone who's not clean or polite tends to tick me off pretty easily. Not that any of my friends are.
Did I
You know
hear
how
her?
it is.
Her
I
characteristics,
know I told
bro.
you about my relatively boring lifestyle already, but if there was a time to drink, it was that weekend with my
Do you
friends.
hear her? I'm sorry. It's just, bro. Do you not hear her characteristics, bro? Not see, there's a bedroom with a bathroom attached. It's heaven. Yeah, that's nice. I don't mean to keep pausing and being like that, bro. But you hear the way she talks, bro? It's clear that no dudes ever want to give her a place. She graduated through high school, or she didn't get asked to prom. No one asked her to homecoming. She went to college. She was just walking through her college, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just literally reading books as she walked, bro. Her head in books. She looked up, bro, to order a smoothie, bro. Every other dude in the building is looking away from her, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like not once has a dude stopped her and be like, hey, you look beautiful today, bro. You can just tell in the energy, bro.
So I definitely planned on letting loose a little more than I ordinarily would. We wanted to keep the first night pretty chill, though, so we walked down to the private beach connected to the house and sat in the sand, stargazing. The four of us were drinking White Claws and listening to house music on Sabrina's speaker
White Claws,
when we noticed
oh
something in
God.
the distance. It was this faint, flickering light emanating from somewhere further down the shore. The four of us quieted down a bit and watched the light flicker on and off. The sight was kind of hypnotic, as eerie as it was. After a while, it became clear that the light was swinging back and forth, like a handheld flashlight someone was walking with. And soon after, we realized that's just what it was. It looked like 3 or 4 people casually walking in our direction, not running or stumbling or moving strangely, but strolling at a leisurely pace. As they got closer, we started hearing the sound of laughter, which caused all of us to relax a bit. Considering how late it was most likely just a group of teenagers or even people our age. They must have noticed us, because at some point, one of them yelled out hi in a friendly voice. It was a guy's voice, and he sounded around our age. Thea yelled back, and we made some small talk while they made their way over to us. As they approached, we could see that it was a group of 3 guys who looked maybe a year or 2 older than we were. They all had that typical beach boy look, which I could tell right away my friends were digging, especially Thea. She's a bit crazy when it comes to guys, so I can't say I was too surprised. She knows how I feel about her lifestyle, so it's not like I'm saying anything crazy. To be fair, she is drop-dead gorgeous, and I've never seen a guy not take a liking to her. The guys sat down with their beers, and the 7 of us continued drinking. It was actually a really great time. The guys weren't overtly flirtatious, but they weren't boring either. Fast forward an hour and several drinks later, and they ultimately invited us back to their place.
No, I'm good.
Personally, I was exhausted and was leaning towards going to sleep, but I could tell all 3 of my friends wanted to continue hanging out with the boys, especially Thea, of course. I decided not to spoil everyone's fun and called it a night for myself, telling my friends to go on without me.
Japan the way you've always dreamed.
You know why she did that? You know why? Because none of the dudes was hitting on her. None of the dudes were looking her way. That's why she was tired. JJ, if I'm telling you, if them dudes was engaging her and them dudes were her type, crazy ad placement, always. If those dudes were her type and they were entertaining her, you think you have an ounce of sleep in her, bro? You think she'll be feeling tired? Nah, she'll be like Theo with her eyes wide open, ready to jump. I'm not violating. I'm telling you like it is, bro. She probably looking like Rufus from Kim Possible, but not like the cartoon, bro. I'm talking about the actual naked mole rat animal on Google search. That's what this girl probably looked like. It's crazy to me, bro. And she's exposing herself. Oh, I don't want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? She's all boy crazy. She's drop dead gorgeous. But if the dudes was, bro, Rufus, bro, the naked mole rat from Kim, bro, I'm telling you, bro, she probably looked like that in the face. This girl probably like chubby built. It's not even to be mean. It's just like if the dudes was feeling you, you've been telling the story like the guys were like this, and then I was feeling kind of happy, and we had to go visit because something about the guys was so mesmerizing, and they was all over me. She never mentioned about how the dudes was all over her, how they was trying to be in her face, if they was trying to be flirty, because they was gonna give you the time of day, bro. You don't want no naked mole rat pet. She's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. They all like, hooray! Come on, take the friends to my place.
And called it a night for myself, telling my friends to go on without me. There were only 3 guys after all, and I had no intention of hooking up with anyone that night.
Right.
I walked back towards Lindsay's
It's her
house while
choice.
the 6 of them walked along the beach, presumably towards wherever the guys were staying. I washed up and went to bed.
They're stupid.
Sometime after 3 in the morning, I woke up to a FaceTime call from Lindsay, which was confusing since she should have either been home by then or asleep next to one of the guys. I answered her in a groggy voice, and what she said woke me up instantly. She basically screamed into the phone that Thea and Sabrina had been kidnapped, and I needed to get her car immediately. Her words were like a bucket of ice-cold water being splashed across my face. I've never felt a more intense sense of fear and adrenaline. I didn't waste a second. My hands were literally shaking as I quickly threw on some clothes and sprinted down the stairs. I asked her why she had called me instead of the police, and she reassured me that she already had. She told me to stay on the line as she walked me through it. With her instruction, I managed to open the driveway gate, find her car keys, and speed out of there in a matter of minutes. She told me they were about 10 houses down the beach to the left, so that's where I started driving. She described the car and told me what direction it had gone in, and I slammed on the gas to try and catch up. There wasn't a single car on the road, and I was driving at an insanely unsafe speed. It was a miracle I didn't get pulled over. After a few minutes of driving, I noticed a car matching Lindsay's description driving slowly in the distance. Then I hung up the phone, called the police, and told them exactly where we were. The dispatcher told me to keep my distance so as not to alert them to the situation, so that's what I did. After what felt like forever, I spotted cop lights up ahead. The car ahead of me didn't try to evade the police. I can only imagine that they assumed it was an unrelated stop. I pulled the car over and watched everything unfold. It was pure chaos. The cops forcibly removed all 3 men from the SUV at gunpoint. They put them in cuffs and escorted them back to one of the cruisers. Then, one of the officers walked over to the trunk of the car and pulled it open to reveal both Thea and Sabrina, bound, and from the looks of it, pretty badly bruised.
And this is why, JJ, people like me, and just people with common sense don't go walking off talking to random people that's walking down the random beach. Not everybody is good people. That's why JJ talking about he afraid of his organs. Good thing she didn't stick around. Exactly. Good thing her face was repulsive and they didn't want to kidnap her. Because clearly, bro, if they really wanted her, you know what I'm saying, it would have been a wraps, bro. They would have came back to the house exactly where she was. Because she was drinking outside of their house, right? They would have came back and kidnapped her, bro. Clearly, she was not appealing enough that they wanted her face in the back of the trunk. So, lucky for her, bro. You know what I'm saying? She lucked out. But the crazy part is, though, bro, this stuff could be happening, and then Thea and them just, boy, not thinking nothing of it. And it's like, why though? Like, you don't be thinking that these random boys could be weirdos. Now you're trying to human traffic your junk, bro. That's crazy, dude.
Horrifying as the whole experience was,
how am I wilding
compared to the sequence of events told from their perspective. All 3 of them were comfortable with me writing this, by the way. We're still close in contact, so I obviously asked them. But none of them wanted to write it themselves, and for good reason.
Let me hear what happened. Why the ads coming, bro? Nobody care about this. Actually, I do might care about this. Hold on. Okay, but I might go on that site right quick. I gotta do work with
To keep things short, after I went to bed, they all continued drinking. Lindsay is the only one who remembers things clearly, since she was trying to be at least a little responsible, given it was her family's house we were staying in.
Right.
At some point, the guys Thea and Sabrina were with suggested they all go to bed. So the 4 of them split off, while Lindsay told the 3rd guy she was going home. He was really upset about that, which Lindsay initially thought was because he wanted to get with her. She told him she would have been down, but had to watch her house, and he got angry. They yelled at each other for a bit, and he ended up telling Lindsay to get the hell out of his house and never come back, which she was more than happy doing. Halfway home, though, she realized she had forgotten her purse, so she went back to get it. That's when she saw the guys throwing Thea and Sabrina into the back of the car before driving off.
Ooh.
She called the police, then me, and that was that.
Yo, what if she never forgot her purse? She would have probably never saw them again unless it was going to be on a news report saying 2 bodies have been found. I'm not lying. If she never forgot that purse and went back and saw that happen through the window, oh my gosh. Lindsay. Lindsay's actually the MVP of the story, bro. Because not only she went with the dudes, right? She was thinking not enough, like, I got to be responsible enough to watch my own stuff. That's crazy how that play out. That's crazy how things can play out. Lindsay's kind of cool for that. She's like, I actually got to go back to my spot. Take care of that. She wasn't too drunk to be able to not focus and, all her W, bro.
Thea's parents are both lawyers, and they jumped through dozens of hoops to do 2 things. Keep the event as far away from the public sphere as possible, and make sure those guys got maximum prison sentences.
Yep.
They accomplished both. Turns out the house they were staying in didn't even belong to them.
Makes sense.
It was owned by some random old couple who were on vacation in a different country. That, plus the slew of other crimes they were charged with, put them away for a long time.
Yeah, I'm
Although
trouble.
I still think there's no sentence long enough that can properly compensate for what they did. As much as I hate admitting it, this traumatized me for years. I couldn't do beaches, late nights, or talking to strangers, no matter how harmless they seemed, or how safe a situation felt.
You wasn't doing it before. You know what? I'm about to let the player play loud. You was drinking coffee, daddy's girl. I don't want to mess with nobody. Now she's really uptight. After this, trust me, no one wants to touch you. My gosh. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I apologize. You know what? I apologize. I don't even know you like that. You went through something terrible. You know what? You right. You right to be paranoid because this is what happens in the real world. You don't watch your back, dudes try to kidnap you and you know, human traffic your body for, you know what I'm saying? So you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna stop. I need to stop, bro. I apologize. And the crazy part is, you literally just said in the story that the parents of your friend did everything in their power as lawyers to keep this from the public and to send these people away on a discreet thing. But you gonna go to Mr. Nightmare with this story written out. What if niggas figure it out with the Mr. Nightmare and try to go announcement with it? This nigga Mr. Nightmare have millions of subscribers. I hope somebody figure it out and then it become a whole thing. Like, hey, they be like, Thea, this story sound familiar, bro. Like, didn't you be to this beach house or anything about it? I'm telling you, bro. She just want attention. Let me stop, bro. Let me just end the video because I'm going to keep roasting her.
I became antisocial and drifted away from the girls for a little, but luckily that's since changed. I can't even begin to imagine how this incident affected Thea and Sabrina. Part of me feels like not remembering anything is a blessing in disguise. I think the craziest part about the whole thing is the fact that had I not gone home, I might not have been able to reach Lindsay's car in time. And had it not been for that, the police may have never found those guys' car.
That's true, bro. Notice, I'm just gonna say this one last thing. Notice she's not like all the rest of the stories we hear. She's like, I'm now married with 12 kids. She's like, I'm now married with 2 kids. I still think about that moment 20 years later. I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to say that she did not confirm, bro, that, you know what I'm saying, that situation happened a decade ago, but yeah, she is now with somebody else and then someone actually likes her. I just want to confirm that, let y'all know that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Other people's stories usually say that. She didn't say that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying for our industry. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. No update on her life or none of that. It's just like this traumatic experience is why. Yeah, sure, okay. Keep telling Mr. Nightmare that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else believe that. All right, bro. Let me stop. All right, y'all. I gotta charge my phone, bro. Oh, my stuff is finished charging my equipment. I'm gonna take off the charge because I don't want to overcharge and fry it. I'm gonna get off the stream for today, bro. We will be streaming, bro, for sure tomorrow. Life is Strange, try to knock that out, y'all. I'm going to try to actually make an appointment and get my taxes done, bro. To get some tax money back. And hopefully, my tax money, bro, I'm hoping after 5-6 years of doing taxes, y'all, I finally get tax returns high enough for me to get me that PlayStation VR 2. Finally get on the Resident Evil 4 remake, bro. Full, like, gameplay plus some other games I've been checking out. PlayStation VR and Google VR crazy on the channel. Including, there was a Dark Anthology Pictures. Yeah, I know Dark Anthology Pictures, bro, we've been playing, like Man of Medan and all that stuff like that. Apparently, there's a Dark Anthology's Pictures in VR game. And it was like Until Dawn Rush of Blood, where it's like you go through the roller coaster and you shoot things, but it's like characters from the Dark Anthology Pictures and just a bunch of monsters attack you in VR with that whole story. You know what I'm saying? So, that would be a super cool, scary game to play in VR, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, hopefully we get tax return, bro. Another console come in and then some more gameplay, you know, saying shake up the channel, be more fun. But yeah, definitely streaming tomorrow and plan on streaming Monday if we don't finish Life is Strange tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But looking forward to y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a fun couple of days, you know what I'm saying? So get ready for that, man. I'm about to actually get off right now and chill for the rest of the night, bro. Charge my phone up, chill for the rest of the night, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for tomorrow. If not, record some stuff for the rest of the night. See if this equipment work. But yeah, man. W stream, bro. Have fun with this, bro. More recommendations. Y'all want to see Pacific stuff, bro. I know they got some more stuff I'm supposed to be streaming. And I might record those as videos and post them. Y'all let y'all know if I do that. Other than that, y'all can always just send me recommendations in Discord, bro. And we can always go live and record stuff. Mr. Nightmare. Y'all got more Mr. Nightmare stories piled up. Send them all. Because my boy Guess, JJ, y'all really enjoy these. I enjoy these. You know what I'm saying? You know, with the true crime and everything vibe like that. Sometimes I'll be going to do Mr. Nightmare on my own and post a video like I did the other day. Like the 5 paranormal stories from Mr. Nightmare. So, with that being said, bro, I will see y'all tomorrow with Life is Strange, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm chilling for the rest of the night, bro. W stream.